UFC 294, Saudi Arabia, 7 a.m, early start. Big fights, big changes this week, and I'm hyped for this card. I hope it delivers.
Yeah.
And we're going to give you a little bit of a preview of our thoughts on it. So,
We're back, for starters.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
I back.
Trust me, I back.
Trust me.
Yeah.
I back. Don't call it a comeback, though. Call it, I don't know, Return of the King.
The resurrection of Jesus.
Yeah.
That's what
But,
it is.
I mean, as far as this card goes...
This card got a lot better
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. Started with the injuring of De Bronx, Charles Oliveira.
Was he the first one out?
He was the first one out. Just with a cut above his eyebrow that obviously wasn't going to heal in time.
Yeah.
And obviously he was originally scheduled to face Islam Makhachev
In the rematch. And let's take that on right now. I just want to get straight into that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you really think that fight would have gone that much differently? So many people were just going on about, based off Charles's last performance against Beneil Dariush, he's going to be so much better this time. And I'm like, what did he really do in that fight to even prove he'd be any different?
That's the thing. Like, beating Islam and beating Beneil are two very different things.
And Islam fully outclassed him in every way possible in that first fight. Literally submitted the top submission artist in the UFC. And then even in that fight against Beneil, because I rewatched it again recently, it was like the first half of that round, it was actually Beneil on top.
Yeah.
Out grappling him, and then he just got back up and head kicked him. And everyone was like, oh my god, dude,
as much
3.0 or something. I don't know.
I quite like Beneil, but he does have a very suspect chin.
I like him as well, and I thought he was going to actually have a better performance against Charles than he did there, because I was like, good grappler, he's got power in his hands, and Du Bronx is a bit suspect when it comes to the chin as well.
Yeah.
And no, on the feet, lasted about 2 seconds, really. But
it's gonna fuck up. Well, obviously we should say Alexander Volkanovski has come in to fill in for Charles. Short notice.
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Obviously had a very...
Should we just talk about that now? That main event?
Let's just get straight into it. We'll
I only really care
down.
about the top 2 fights, really.
Yeah.
We can just go straight into the main event. Doesn't really matter what way we go.
Volk versus Islam last time was very close.
Very close. Who do you think won the first fight? Have you rewatched it?
I haven't rewatched it.
Yeah.
Maybe if I rewatched it, it'd be a bit different. At the time, I thought Volk had done enough to win.
Yeah, I thought it is a really close fight. I don't know how anyone can be, because I think I'm leaning towards Volk winning that first fight. I thought Volk won, but barely, and I'm not even mad at anyone.
That was my thing. I could have seen it going both ways.
Yeah. But people were so intent on either way. They're like, no, he for sure won. I'm like, I don't even know how you could say that. I leant towards Volk, but I have no problem with either of those guys winning, really.
And it also depends on what actually did he drop him in the last round and stuff? Was that counted?
And whether control time over damage.
Yeah.
It's just really how you score it, I think.
And a lot of people would have been they're less UFC fans and bigger Joe Rogan fans. And Joe Rogan was very adamant when he did the Fight Companion that Volk won and it was a robbery and stuff. I feel like that probably would have swayed quite a few people in their opinions.
Do you think people he's convincing people that Volk won? Or
Yeah. So people might not have watched the fight close, very close. Yeah. And they hear Rogan go, that was a robbery, Volk won that.
I see more people saying they think Islam won, especially recently.
More recently, but when it first happened, I feel like that was sort of
just because it was, I think, in Australia, Volk's home crowd, and everyone kind of wanted Volk to win that.
Yeah.
He did a lot better than I think people probably thought he would have too.
100%.
But... Hey, it was such a close fight. I'm glad we're getting this rematch. It is on short notice, but I think if anyone could do it, it's Volk. Out of the entire UFC. But
Volk is as crazy as it sounds. Volk is the best, or second best if you want to classify it, but lightweight. Even though he's fought there once, he will go up there and beat everyone. Yeah. I have no doubt in my mind.
Yeah. I don't think anyone could go against Islam the way he did.
100% no.
I didn't expect him to even be able to.
But the only other thing, he had the hand surgery, 11 days notice, that's quite a big weight cut.
But he always, he's always staying fit, he's always training.
Yeah.
And, maybe a different approach for him this time will work in his favour, or maybe he will just get completely smashed. And that's like...
It's the Jorge Masvidal, isn't it?
Yeah, but for my mind, like every reason you could have, and this goes for the co-main event as well, for like the underdogs in those fights winning, there's like, you know, just there's a counter argument to everything. It's like, oh,
I think that's more for the Volk fight than the Usman fight.
Because it's like, oh, Volk, he's coming on short notice, but, you know, he is one of the best fighters and he always trains, but he's going against Islam and maybe... And then Volk says he knows what he needs to do now, but then maybe Islam will have a different approach.
That's
what
I mean. Know. Like, the argument that... There's always that counter-argument for short-term... Like, short... What's the word? Short-term fights?
Yeah.
Short notice is what I was looking for. But you know, people say, like Volk hasn't really been preparing for Islam, but Islam won't have been preparing for Volk. He would have. The difference between Volk and Charles is very, very different. Yeah. Like your approach for a fight between the two of them.
Yeah, and he's been training for Ilya, who, like, I'm not saying is the exact same fighter against Islam, but like they're both like pretty good strikers with a strong wrestling and ground game. Like it's not a complete 180 of styles, really.
It's more different for Islam than it is for Volk.
And I just think Volk would have always had training for Islam and getting that fight again in his mind anyway.
And Volk's corner and his team are really good.
Yeah.
Like, let's not get it twisted. And, I think they'll go back and look at that first fight and they'll be able to identify what changes could have been made. Because, like we said, slim pickings.
Yeah.
There was not much done wrong from either side in that fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be such an interesting fight.
It's really hard to predict, and like I can visualize Volk just going in there pulling off an upset.
But I can see him getting submitted in the first round or something.
I'm pretty confident Islam would probably have a better performance than last time,
100%,
because of the short notice. Like I just don't. Yeah, I don't know. But we've seen so much shit this year, like that's gone the other way. So you don't really know.
Strickland and fucking.
I don't know. Volk says he's going to go out there. He wants to not show him as much respect. I think make it a bit more of a stand-up war. Try and get him out of there early. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
These fights are so hard to predict.
The hand surgery is going to play a big part, I think.
Yeah,
and Volk's ability to land and. Like, what if he re-injures himself in the first round and then it's, you know...
And Volk was taken down in that first fight, but he wasn't really ever in danger on the ground the entire fight. Yeah. So maybe if he's not as prepared this time, Islam will be able to take more of... he have more of an advantage on the ground. I don't know.
And also, if like you said, Charles is going to make it... if Volk is going to make it more of a stand-up banger, there's going to be more opportunities to get a clean takedown and... get a better position.
It's just so damn hard to predict. Like on short notice, you don't know.
Yeah, it fucks lightweight up quite a bit, I reckon.
Because wins.
Well, no, because like Gaethje's now calling for the shot after this fight.
Yeah.
But I think Charles is still like number one contender in my opinion. He hasn't done anything wrong.
No.
That fight against Benil was number one contender, and then you had Mateusz Gamrot, who was the backup fighter for this fight. He probably didn't deserve it. You know, coming off a technical...
Yeah, I don't think so.
You know, like a shitty knockout. You know what a shitty finish against...
Whatever it was.
Fazeev.
Yeah,
so you got three people after this fight that, you know, could stake a claim technically. Yeah. But then if Volk wins, Islam will get a rematch. You know, they'll definitely do the trilogy.
Yeah.
And then what do you do? Gaethje's he'll be sitting out for another year.
No, I get what you mean.
So I feel like this could fuck lightweight up quite a bit.
And Islam, like, he is still yet to face like any good lightweights apart from Charles. He hasn't fought anyone apart from Charles.
Well, yeah, 100%.
So, like, if he retains here, he's still got the whole lightweight division to face.
But it's the same as Khabib, though, isn't it? Khabib never really fought.
No.
Until he won that title.
It was the same for both of them. Like, they fought, like, they had streaks going.
Yeah.
But for some reason, never really against any of the... I don't know how that...
Well,
I don't know how that worked out.
You know, Khabib's would have been Edson.
Well, yeah, but...
Before the title fight.
I mean, there's just a lot of pulling out and injuries and just bullshit going on, I guess,
at least for Islam, he beat
Charles,
the proper champion.
Yeah.
Whereas Khabib, you know, beat Big Gay Al.
Yeah, and then, I mean...
On short notice, Yeah, that.
On like a day's notice.
But according to Joe Rogan, best performance of all time.
Ike went to 1. Was it? It's 10-7 every round, I'm pretty sure.
10-5, 10-5.
He looks very amateurish. I love rewatching that, and I'm just like, what the hell was he on about anyway?
Yeah.
But
let's move on.
So official prediction though? Islam. It's just got to be, I think.
I think Islam submits him.
I do. Yeah, I think
Volk is like my favourite fighter, so
I do want Volk to win this.
I obviously want Volk
It
to
would be insane.
But I realistically, I think Islam's going to sub him, and
I just don't know how you could bet against him.
Yeah.
It's just insane. But yeah, co-main event, same situation going on. Late replacement, Usman coming in against.
Originally, it was meant to be
Chimaev.
Paulo Costa against Chimaev.
But
that's good. I hate Paulo Costa, so bin him off.
I find him entertaining, but he just doesn't even fight.
He's Dylan Dennis, but on fucking steroids.
Pretty much. I was watching Sean Strickland's breakdown, and he was like, they should probably just cut that guy. Like, he's just 100%. Fucking around so much.
I mean, he pretty much wasn't it? Because he didn't sign that new contract.
Yeah.
And then he was scheduled to fight. If you look at his track record, he has pulled out of his last 3 fights?
Yeah.
Whitaker.
He fought once a year, I think.
What even was his last fight? Luke Rockhold.
Yeah.
And before that, was it Izzy?
No, Vittorio.
Oh, right. Where he fucking missed weight by 20 or 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
He's just not really a good example for the UFC. But this new fight, though, obviously...
So much more exciting.
Yeah. Usman, middleweight debut. I don't know if it is his middleweight debut.
I think it is.
But a lot on the line here. Winner is getting a title shot. Is there a reason why they couldn't have done Duplessis against Chimaev?
Probably time... Like, might not have lined up for Dricus. I completely respect it. Dricus... I hate the idea that the UFC always expects people to take short notice fights, and if they don't, then they're out of title contention.
Yeah. Like
the fight against Izzy for Dricus, where he had to get hand surgery or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was a 2-month turnaround, and now Dana's like, "Oh, we hate when people do that."
I was
like, that's so unfair. Yeah, that's not cool.
Say, I do respect the balls it takes to have a short notice fight, but at the same time, I don't blame anyone for not doing it either.
And also, the people taking these short notice fights have nothing to lose.
Yeah, that was it might have been even what you're talking about, where he was like, back in the day where John Jones didn't want to take a short notice fight, and it was when he was meant to fight
Dan Henderson, where they cancelled the card,
and then they wanted Chow to step in, and then he eventually fought Chow anyway, but it was delayed from the pay-per-view that it was meant to be on. But he denied taking Chow on at short notice, where I feel like Jones would have won no matter what.
Probably quicker than he won the second time.
But then he was like, John Jones, he's just ruining the entire sport. That's not what a champion's being about. But it's you don't if your opponent pulls out, I don't know.
Yeah, I have no problem with people pulling out of a fight and then not accepting a backup fight.
Yeah, it is annoying for the fans, but the fighter's thinking about their best interest. Really.
Yeah, 100%. But I do. Usman has nothing to lose going into this fight. If he gets, he could get beaten a million different ways. If we're being honest.
I'm really interested to see how this is going to go as a 3-rounder.
The way, yeah, that's true.
Because
was it originally meant to be 5 rounds?
No, I think it was always 3. But I think that definitely favours Hamzat. I think so.
100%. Well, Usman wouldn't have fought in a 3-round fight
in a long time.
I couldn't even tell you what the last time would have been.
Yeah, Usman really has kind of a methodical pace where kind of. Depending on who he's fighting,
he's
and
lost
how much offense he can put
a few first rounds.
Yeah,
he lost in the first fight to Leon. He lost that first round.
Yeah,
he got taken down and stuff, and his corner allows him to make adjustments. But in a 3-round fight, you can't do that.
Yeah, so
as much.
I expect this to be
high pace.
I think Hamzat's going to dictate how the fight's going to go, and it will just be. I just don't know whether he's going to want to strike or just be going for the grappling straight away. Like when he fought Burns, he basically shot almost straight away.
I think he'll do the same.
Just against Usman as well.
But apparently he's been training the oblique kicks.
Oh, yeah.
For the knee. Because Usman, as far as we're aware, we haven't really had too much official confirmation.
Yeah.
But apparently Usman's knees are molested.
Well,
he can't walk upstairs with them.
Yeah, he said that on the Joe Rogan podcast, I think. I don't know if that was the first time where he ever said it, but it kind of became well known after that his knees are fucked, basically. Yeah. And, I mean, looking at that second Leon fight, I don't know if that is... I don't know. when you look at from the first Leon fight to the second Leon fight, he didn't look as, I don't know, agile, looked a bit immobilised in there.
It's how much was that actually down? Like, he didn't take that much damage to his knees in the Leon fight, you know?
No, I don't know. But I'm just wondering if that was a factor in that or not, and 100%. Then if it's going to be even worse now. He says he's fine. Hard to know. I was watching an interview with Gaethje, and he said he's been training with Usman and said he's still...
Well, they did the open mat workouts, didn't they? And some people reportedly heard...
and they said that was just complete bullshit.
Yeah, but obviously they're not going to say,
I really, I do not know how this fight's going to go because both guys so well rounded.
See, it's different. Different to the first fight because I see a lot less ways that Usman can win this.
Yeah. I think Usman could knock Hamzat out for sure. Because Hamzat, I'm thinking back to the Burns fight where he started brawling with him, he got dropped in close range of the air. And even when you just compare Usman's performance against Burns to Chimaev, Usman, domination, knocked him out with ease, and then...
Did get dropped by him though.
Barely though, and it was immediately.
But yeah, he also finished him with the fucking finger point of doom.
And then Hamza and Gilbert had the back and forth war. Obviously, no fight is the same just because he fought.
I'll never get people picking Burns winning that fight.
It still happens as well. It still happens. It's the most. I don't even know how to describe it. Just delusional thought on a specific round in the history of MMA.
Yep.
There's never been a more clear round. Every time I've seen it, I've rewatched it recently as well. There's no way in hell Burns won that round. I don't know what. You can argue about it for days.
But I see less chance that Usman knocks out Hamzat than I do anything else.
Yeah.
I could fully expect Hamzat to come out, just take him down straight. And Usman is a really good wrestler, obviously we know this, but there's just, I don't know, there's something about the explosiveness.
Hamzat's just such an overwhelming force that can just do what he wants in there, but then at the same time he hasn't been tested that much either. He's only really had one hard fight in his career.
And it was the Gilbert fight.
He doesn't have the most experience at the top level yet, so maybe he won't be as good as we've seen against Usman, or maybe he just will. It's still it's hard to know.
It is.
But I think that's part of the appeal of what makes it so exciting. You literally don't know what's going to happen. Even if these guys, if Usman was on a full camp here, same with Volk, I guess. It's so unpredictable. And
but the short notice just makes it even that much more.
Yeah, but then Usman was still he's looking jacked as at middleweight. He's looking big.
I think their height difference must be quite significant, is it not? I feel like
maybe
Hamzat's 6'1", 6'2".
Usman is how tall?
Fight must be 5'10", 5'11".
Does it not even have his? Oh, he's 6 foot.
Really?
Yeah, and Chimaev. Well, this is just what it says on here. And then Chimaev's 6'2".
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm again though. I would just lean towards Chimaev.
Yeah, 100%.
Just because mostly of the short notice, and then I don't know. I do think a lot of people are counting Usman out though. But then I don't know. I just don't know.
I would never put money on this fight.
No.
It'd be really hard to say.
Usman is the underdog though. But it'd be pretty easy to put the underdog on him, put the bet on him, and then just...
But I could also see this is the thing. I could also see him going out and getting submitted in 2 minutes.
I just don't know. I don't know. I think Usman's too good for that. I just don't know.
I don't know. It's just the way, when I know the Kevin Holland fight is so much different to this fight, but just the way he took him down with such ease and was just maintained
but that's Holland.
I know, that's what I mean. It is different,
but Usman highest takedown defense.
But I think
in the
it's
UFC.
just the
I think that's a big stat that needs to be
explosiveness. That's what it is in my mind. You can defend a takedown if you know it's coming.
Yeah.
But if someone comes out and shoots a takedown on you in the first 10 seconds. Also, you can be prepared for it, but it's just a different thing, I reckon.
Also, though, Hamzat, I know this is a 3-rounder, but
he gassed out in that Burns fight. A lot of his fights have all just been 1-rounder. Yeah.
And then Burns, even though there were points where he was looking gassed, but then he was able to come back in that 3rd round and still look good.
Yeah.
Because I remember at the end of that 2nd round, I was like, oh fuck, he might be fading away here.
Yep.
And then he showed that he could recover and still maintain that pace to a 3-rounder. But then Like, even against Holland, like, and I'm just speaking from what I see, I have no idea, but he went hard to try to take down Holland straight away.
Yeah.
And looked, I mean, it went for like a minute, but he looked like he put a lot of energy into that. And maybe, like, say he tries the same thing on Usman, can't get it, gasses himself out. I don't know.
But then I think he probably has a better chance at survival. Like, while Usman has knockout power, I wouldn't almost imagine he would land a shot on Hamzat straight away, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's a very interesting fight.
I'm just really excited for it, though.
Yeah.
I'd love for Usman to get it done. I don't mind either way, really, because I like Hamzat as well, and then it would be good for him to capitalise on all the hype that he's had.
Yeah.
But I also like Usman a lot. Like, he probably had my favourite title reign of all time, to be honest. Like, there was just such a sick run to watch. Mm-hmm. Just full of, like, highlights and just great
bangers
fights
and stuff, yeah.
And then maybe it opens up a whole new, you know, run from the goal.
But again, it almost shafts Dricus quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
And what, you know, Izzy says he's going to be out for a bit. How long is that for? I don't think he deserves to come and get a title shot straight after he comes back.
No way.
But he's, you know, probably guaranteed almost a number one contender fight when he comes back. And is this move permanent for Usman? It wasn't really talked about too much.
I think if he loses, he'll move back down.
Yeah,
for
100%.
Sure.
But and that's what he's got to wait. Like, this is a big change for him going up in a weight class.
Yeah,
where he is. You can't tell me you could see an Usman versus Alex Pereira. If that is the physical mismatch to fucking infinity.
I mean, yeah, but he's not a middleweight anymore. Thank God.
Well, okay, yeah, but like, still, even like an Izzy is sort of that height, and Strickland, I imagine. Well, he did fight at welterweight too, but I feel like they're a lot bigger than Usman.
I think, I don't know. I think you'll be able to tell.
You want to talk about delusion? Usman saying he's going to go up to welterweight, win the title, then go and beat fucking Yan at light heavyweight on the Rogan.
That was like back when he was champion, though.
Yeah, but I don't care how fucking... You can be champion for a million years. That is delusion to the highest
that's just because he wanted to be a double champ, but he didn't want to fight Izzy. So that's really all we could do.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
But then he was talking about fighting Canelo as well.
And
I think at that point he just beaten, like...
everyone.
Yeah, and then he was just looking for, you know, money, which I guess he's probably getting with this.
Yeah.
But then, whoever wins title shot... For the main and co-main, it really does shake up both divisions, not really in the best way, because you've got so many guys just sitting on the sideline.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. What do you reckon Dracus does then?
I mean, if I was Dracus, I'd be sitting out for a title shot, or...
So
if Izzy hadn't said he was taking time off, I would be calling Izzy out.
Yeah. So
especially at the moment, I feel like he could beat Izzy. With Sean Strickland beating Israel Adesanya, anyone can beat anyone, in my opinion. I feel like that should have been the biggest layup for Izzy, and it just wasn't.
I just think that was a Strickland's night, though.
But that's what I mean. Like
I feel like I don't think just because Strickland beat him that now anyone can beat him.
No, not him, but I think anyone could beat anyone. My eyes.
Oh, like just overall in MMA now, like you just can't.
Like that was almost the biggest disbelief that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
In a fight.
Yeah. Well, because even when he rocked him in round one, I was like, what the hell? Like, that was the last thing I expected to happen. And then I was like, every exchange, I was like, okay, when Strickland is going to get rocked? Like, he did against
100%.
It just never happened. He was just, his defense was just on point.
But if I was Dracus, I'd sit out or wait for Izzy.
But then even Dracus, so it was the same deal with him against Whittaker. I never thought that was going to happen.
That's fair.
And then he, because he's looked pretty dog shit in a lot of his fights. But
that's an understatement. He's looked awful in some of his fights.
Yeah, but then maybe it might just be one of those things where he is improving each fight, and then maybe when he goes to fight Adesanya, he just is a whole new fighter.
It's very possible. But he has every right to sit out and wait for a title shot.
Yeah,
he beat the clear number one contender in Robert Whittaker.
Yeah. So you think, if they give the winner of this a title shot, you can, he just waits until after that and then just gets the next one?
Well, theoretically, yeah, because if Strickland loses, he's not a bona fide champion that is going to get an immediate title shot.
Yeah.
He hasn't defended that title, and if he wins, then Dracus is still clear number one.
Yeah.
So if I was Dracus, if you're watching this, sit out.
Number one fan.
Yeah, I quite. I used to not like him, but I'd really like him
He
now.
definitely got my respect after that Whittaker performance because I thought he was going to get worked, as I thought everyone did.
Yeah.
Before that, he'd shown
I don't
so
know
many
anyone
holes
that
in his
picked him to
game.
win that fight.
No. I think just with the way he kind of handled Adesanya's antics as well, I just got a bit of respect for him because I was like, oh.
Yeah. It takes a lot of strength not to say that word.
But anyway, so again, I'll just go for Chimaev. I'm going to go both of the guys who've had a full camp, who would just seem like they're just absolute powerhouses.
Who probably
of
would be
fighters.
favourites going into both of these fights on a full camp anyway.
Yeah. But then the only other fight, if you want to talk about it for 5 seconds, is Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker. I
mean, realistically, could be in another universe. This is a light heavyweight title fight.
Well,
Ankalaev, his last fight was the interim.
Well, yeah, Ankalaev is second and Walker is 7. So whoever wins,
and
this
Walker
probably
has been on a good. Apart from getting knocked out by Jamal Hill, he's been on a bit of a run.
That is the thing about Walker. Like a few fights ago, I would have been like, Ankalaev easily, but
100%.
Like,
Ankalaev, I still going into that Jan fight. I was like, "There's no way Jan wins this." Like Ankalaev he's just uncrowned champion, waiting to be. I thought he would have dominated Yuri as well with his wrestling, but after that performance, I don't know anymore.
I feel similarly to you. Like he was on a big streak,
and he looked good in those performances.
Yeah.
Apart from the Paul Craig one, which it was a fluke. He was winning that entire fight.
It's just hard though because light heavyweight is the worst division of all time. 100%. So like you can be at the top of the division.
Which is so crazy that the best fighter of all time dominated that division.
But like you could be like for Ankalaev's case number 2 ranked, but then like you look at some of the guys he's fought and it's like none of them are insane fighters though.
Yeah. And
then Walker, like I was kind of just saying.
I mean, when Johnny Walker came in, he was one of the most overhyped. He
was going to beat John
prospects.
Jones,
yeah.
And then he went on a bit of a losing streak, but then he's surprised me quite a few times recently that
he's looked good.
If he did win this, it wouldn't surprise me, but I do feel like Ankalaev is the favourite and most likely will win. But then
I know this is a number 1 contender fight in light heavyweight, I imagine. Well,
for sure, I think it has to be. Who else is there?
Jan lost.
There's Pereira versus
Yuri.
What the fuck's happening? Yeah, that's the one.
So that's for the title, though.
But then, it depends how long Jamal Hill's out, I guess. But I think he's out for ages. So, winner of that probably, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm the same. I could see, in my mind, Magomed wins this fight
by decision,
pretty
probably.
easily. But
I don't know. I don't know.
When I say easily, I don't mean he's going to knock him out in 30 seconds. I mean,
but
he should realistically.
There won't be any debate on the decision
exactly,
at the end.
Exactly. But I don't know anymore, is the problem.
But that's just this whole card, which is why it's got so much hype, because anything can happen. And that's why I'm pumped for this one.
Yeah. What else have we got on this card? Just run us through the rest and we'll just quickly touch on it.
Else. But there is Ikram Aliskerov
who's
against
meant to be
Wally Alves.
This guy, get him out of the car, get him out of the UFC.
14-1.
His only loss was to Hamzat, I believe. Double check that.
Oh yeah, no, okay,
but people were like, he actually didn't do too bad against Hamzat.
He lost in a minute. He got knocked out
people
cold
show the
in a minute.
They show the highlights. Man, his takedown defense against Hamzat was pretty good.
Yeah.
He gets knocked out about 2 seconds later.
Yeah.
Who did he beat? Phil Hawes? Was it his last fight?
Yeah, knocked him out in
like
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
But
yeah.
I mean, he is 14-1. But I get.
But that was his first fight in the UFC.
I get what you're saying. Like he's 14-1. He's had a few good. He was on the Contender Series, won in a minute. 2 minutes by submission, then knocked out Phil Hawes. But the hype they're building around him is
just for Hamzat.
From that Hamzat fight where he
Alex
lasted.
Pereira, it's Alex Pereira all over again.
Yeah, it is just absolute bullshit. But
at least Pereira had the knockout and fucking win over Izzy, you know?
He's fighting Wally, I think that's his name, Alves, who is 14-6 on a 2-fight losing streak.
Exactly.
So he's getting fed
it's
a
very
one
clear
there.
what they're doing. But you would hope that Ikram
he
wins
actually
this fight.
submitted Covington back in the day, surprisingly.
Willie?
Alves.
Really?
Wally Alves. I think that was Covington's only other loss apart from Usman, which is
what did I just said? Islam to Usman,
whatever his name is. And then to close, well, not to close, but to actually open the main card, Saeed Nurmagomedov, 17-3, lost his last fight.
Yeah, who was that against his last fight?
Jonathan Martinez, who just won against that bum. What's his name? Adrian Yanni.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Talk about a drop off, Adrian
just
Yanez.
whatever that is. I just think.
Well, there's the other guy on the prelims.
Bruno Silva is the first fight on the entire card.
Who's he against? It's that. Yeah, so he's the guy that come. He's the guy with the bung eye. That everyone's like, and he looks like a fucking caveman.
Oh yeah, no, I saw his highlights getting posted today. Yeah.
I'm telling you, Bruno Silva's gonna knock him out
with a wheel kick.
He's gonna knock him out with a wheel kick, and then they're gonna pick him back up, and he's gonna knock him out with a flying knee.
A lot of these guys don't have pages, though, I'm guessing, because it's in Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of Russians and stuff that they're bringing in to build hype off of. But it really is like the top two, and then kind of that Walker fight because of maybe title contention. So
bro, I want to go back to Bruno Silva. I quite like Bruno Silva.
Yeah.
He's had quite a few good performances. It went to decision against
underrated
Pereira.
loss against Pereira.
Yeah, and then
did alright in that fight.
Who else did he fought someone else after that as well? I can't remember, but he looks like Rudy Gobert, and that's why I always think of him.
And he will be swishing that Russian's head.
Wow, Rudy Gobert never does any swishing. So
yeah, but Bruno Silva he's that guy.
He's good at basketball.
Like we said, he's doing what did you say? Has he knocked him out?
He's going to do a wheel kick,
and
then they're going to pick him back up while he's knocked out and hit him with a flying knee.
Yeah, but that is UFC 294.
Yeah,
lots of hype, lots of potential outcomes, and
we'll be back with a review of it
tomorrow, and maybe there'll be a new champ, maybe there won't.
Am I going to be awake for it? Good question. I'll be awake for the main card.
At least the last fights are the only ones you care about, really.
Yeah.
So you don't have to wake up.
So they'll be at what, like 8:30?
8:39ish probably in the morning.
I didn't even wake up for the All Blacks game today.
I did.
That's how naked
Waste of time, really.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's UFC 294.
Let us know in the comments who you think's gonna win. Do you want us? We're back. Get used to it.
Pee.
But yeah, we'll catch you on the flip side. Poopy knees, Usman.
Poke the eye.
Poke the eye. Yep. That works. Peace.